In this video, we're going to be studying objects and classes. Now, these are two very common words in every object-oriented programming language. They are the main structures that define what object-oriented programming is all about. Now, these two words are mostly used interchangeably by a lot of programmers because there's only a thin line between them. As in, the difference is so slim because one actually gives birth to the other, and they function the same way, they act the same way, and that's why many programmers just mix them up a lot of times and just use them interchangeably. And probably at times through this course I may be using these two words interchangeably, but in this video I'm going to be describing rather what these two words really mean in object-oriented programming in Java. Now, objects represent real-world things in your computer. They represent real-world things. For example, a person, and this person could be a teacher, could be a student, could be a worker. An object, just like in our real world, represents things that you can see, things that can be measured. For example, we could also have a car, and imagine that an application is to be built, and this application is to help you deal with a car system. I'm going to be needing to create a car object, and you're going to need to create an object of every single thing in a car. For example, your steering, your car brake, and the rest. So objects represent real life things. Now, every object has properties. Every object has properties which make them unique. In programming, these properties are called attributes. They're referred to as attributes. For example, a car has color, a car has the model, the number of doors, whether it's convertible or not. So characteristics that make a particular thing distinct is known as a property. And in Java, in object-oriented programming, these properties are referred to as attributes of an object or attributes of a class. Then also, objects do not only have properties, objects also have behavior. That is, objects can perform actions. For example, a car can move forward, a car can accelerate, the door of a car can open, the car can wipe its screen. These are actions that the car can perform. So objects have the ability to perform actions. Now, the actions that objects perform in object-oriented programming are referred to as methods. They are referred to as methods of the object or methods of the class. Now, objects are real, they can be seen, and in your computer, objects are stored as heaps. For example, when you keep adding more things into your computer, you see your hard disk memory, the memory you've used in your hard disk gradually increasing. Also, when you're running multiple programs on your computer, you see that the space that is taken up in your RAM is increasing. So you can measure objects, you can see them increasing in your computer. But classes, on the other hand, they are just a simple abstraction of objects. The classes are just simply abstraction of objects. Now, like an architect, a programmer designs the blueprint of objects, and this blueprint is the class of the object. This blueprint is the class of the object. It defines how the object is to behave, and when this class is designed, it is simply passed to the Java virtual machine to build it and use it as objects. So you as a programmer, you don't work with objects, you work with classes. You design classes, and these classes are passed to your Java virtual machine, and during runtime, objects are created, objects are used, and objects are destroyed. So that's the basic difference. A class is the blueprint of an object. It cannot be seen, it cannot be measured, but objects are the instances of a class. Like I said earlier in this video, if we assume, for example, noun in English language, noun is the name of any person, animal, place, or thing. Let's take name, for example. Assuming we have a name class. If you look around you, you'll see people bearing different names: Jude, Bosse, Tola, Shegun, Ike, and the rest. These people represent instances of the name. Their names, their individual names, represent instances of the name class. And there's a convention that you use to name a particular person. These are things that are defined in the blueprint of the class name, if we're looking at name as a class. And every single person bearing a name, each person's name is an instance of that class name. So that's basically the difference between objects and classes. Classes are the blueprint for objects, and objects are what is created, used, and destroyed at runtime.